Did you have an issue with what I said about Dak Prescott? And if so, please tell us why.
Of course. So, I'm generally a Dak defender. But to be honest with you, what's wrong with what you said wasn't even about Dak and his talent. It was just about managing a roster. You don't move on from a talented quarterback. No one ever does that. Lots of people sign quarterbacks that they don't want to keep and survive that way. So you think about the Rams and Jared Goff. Signed him, traded him, won a Super Bowl. You could think about the other side in the Lions. You could say Matt Stafford's career was a lot like Dak Prescott. They kept signing him, they traded him. The Eagles signed Carson Wentz and cut him, then found themselves in the Super Bowl shortly after. The Seahawks did the same thing with Russell Wilson. It just doesn't make sense. You have an asset that is hugely valuable. If you don't want to keep him, then you sign him and trade him. And at least in this season, if you sign him, it reduces his cap number. You may be committed to pay him more money, but you see Trevor Lawrence just signed a deal. His cap number went down to $15 million. There's nothing about this decision. If it was up to Jerry Jones, if Dak Prescott just refused to sign anything, but if it's up to Jerry Jones, there's nothing about this decision that makes your team better now or in the short run. We see good teams year after year sign their guys and then figure out what to do with them later on.
I'll chime in later. Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead and respond.
Stephen A., I got to give you some relationship advice. Dominique, this is kind of like when the Cowboys are in a situation. It's like buying somebody a Birkin or a Mercedes when I'm not sure I want to keep you. Now, why would I want to invest that kind of money in you when I'm not sure I want to be with you long term? Sometimes, people keep saying, well, who are you going to find better? Well, who are you going to find this? And sometimes, Stephen A., we've all been there. We're afraid to leave a relationship because we don't know if we can find somebody better. But damn it, I'm not happy right here, right now with what I've been getting. So you know what, Dominique? I'm going to go ahead and roll this thing out because we're already in the middle of the year. And then at the end of the season, if you do some of the things that, I ask you to do, like get us to an NFC championship game, get me to a Super Bowl, maybe win the MVP, I'll be willing to, say renew my vows. But right now, I'm not in no mood to renew these vows. And I'm more apt to what? I'm just going to go ahead and part ways.
Well, Shay, you ain't in the mood to renew any vows. I'm not in the mood to make a vow. Hell with all that. This is where I feel about that. Listen, Dom, I get where you're coming from, Dom. And from a business perspective, Dom, I'm not refuting anything. I was talking about his talent. I know you can't tag him. I know he has a no-trade clause. So that puts you in a very precarious position if you're Jerry Jones. And from a strictly business perspective, Dom, I'm not disputing that. I can't argue with you about that. You know this a hell of a lot better than me and most other people, I might add. But what I'm asking you to take into consideration, just from a player's perspective, as much of a stud as this brother is during the regular season, this guy has the highest winning percentage of any quarterback who's never made a championship game appearance in NFL history and winning 64% of his games. We can't ignore that. He's tied for the worst postseason record as a starting quarterback in the National Football League in history, okay, with a 2-5 postseason record. I'm looking at the brother, and one of the things that I pay attention to, Dom, his first 4 years in the NFL, right, when he only made $4.9 million, okay, he had 2 Pro Bowl appearances, all right, and had 1 playoff win. In the last 4 years, where he's made $157.4 million, okay, the brother has only 1 Pro Bowl appearance and 1 playoff win. You got to be kidding me. I'm looking at those kind of things when it comes to Dak Prescott, whose cap hit is going to be $55.1 million. I understand if you pay him, the cap dips. I get that, the cap hit dips. But I'm just looking at it, man, and I'm saying, damn, the level of production. Did you know, Dom, according to Pro Football Focus, did you know this? Let me read this to you. According to Pro Football Focus, Dak Prescott came in the National Football League in 2016. His 66.3 grade is the second worst in the league ahead of only Lamar Jackson. Now, we know, even though Lamar Jackson has had his issues, the brother was just in the AFC Championship game. That has not been the case with Dak Prescott in 8 years. It's a problem, Dom. It's a problem.